Lavaux Vineyard Terraces in Lutry, Switzerland. The Lavaux Vineyard Terraces, stretching for about 30 kilometers along the south-facing northern shores of Lake Geneva from the Chateau de Chillon to the eastern outskirts of Lausanne in the Vaud region, cover the lower slopes of the mountainside between the villages and the lake. Although there is some evidence that vines were grown in the area in Roman times, the present vine terraces can be traced back to the 11th century, when Benedictine and Cistercian monasteries controlled the area. It is an outstanding example of a centuries-long interaction between people and their environment, developed to optimize local resources so as to produce a highly valued wine that has always been important to the economy. The Lavaux Vineyard landscape is a thriving cultural landscape that demonstrates in a highly visible way its evolution and development over almost a millennia, through the well-preserved landscape and buildings, and also the continuation and adaptation of long-standing cultural traditions, specific to its locality. It also illustrates very graphically the story of patronage, control and protection of this highly valued wine-growing area, all of which contributed substantially to the development of Lausanne and its region and played a significant role in the history of the geo-cultural region, and has prompted, in response to its vulnerability next to fast-growing settlements, exceptional popular protection. The Lavaux Vineyard landscape is an outstanding example that displays centuries of interaction between people and their environment in a very specific and productive way, optimizing the local resources to produce a highly valued wine that was a significant part of the local economy. Its vulnerability in the face of fast-growing urban settlements has prompted protection measures strongly supported by local communities. The nominated boundaries include all the elements of the wine-growing process and the extent of the traditional wine-growing area since at least the 12th century. The terraces are in continuous use and well-maintained. They have evolved over several centuries to their present form. There is now agreement that change needs to be tempered by respect for local traditions. Strong protection has evolved as a reaction to the creeping urbanization from the growing towns of Lausanne to the west and the Vevey-Montreux conurbation to the east. A management plan has been approved for the property. It provides an analysis of socio-economic data, and a series of management strategies for research and culture, economy, land use planning and tourism. This trail zigzags across the prestigious Lavaux terraced vineyards, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Created through wine-related activities over the years, this landscape and its typical villages are of universal beauty. A prestigious terraced vineyard nestles on the Lavaux slopes. This unique construction was man-made in the 12th century in order to produce highly reputed wines. Lavaux has been part of the UNESCO World Heritage Program since 2007. The vineyard paths give visitors the impression of walking through the terraced vineyards between heaven and earth. A vineyard trail overhanging the lake and crossing picturesque villages is signposted between Saint-Sephirin and Lutry. Saint-Sephirin features a church dating back to the 15th century. The Vinorama and Glaroux Castle in Rivaz invite visitors to a detour. Signposts all along these paths explain the mysteries of vines and wine. Monuments such as Tourmarsons and Epices and the medieval village in Lutry bear witness to the region's past. Welcoming wine cellars in the village centers let visitors discover the regional wines. A vast choice of hotels and restaurants is available. Covering 800 hectares, Lavaux is the largest contiguous vineyard region in Switzerland, and its daringly constructed hillside terraces have been protected by UNESCO since 2007. Right at the start of this tour, the medieval Saint-Sephirin with its narrow alleys and characteristic wine growers' houses from the 16th to 19th centuries is worth a visit. The town's original church steeple still adorns many wine labels today. It is said that the Auberge de Lande, an establishment that can look back at a centuries-old tradition of hospitality, and where local delicacies are served on 3 floors, is worth sitting for. To carelessly pass by wine cellars and traditional pubs would be a crime. After all, those who want to experience the scenery with all the senses should also taste it. And after a glass of chaseless, the dynamic uphills and downhills of the trail to Lutry are twice as much fun. On some days of the week the Lavaux Express is ready to comfortably transport tired hikers through the World Heritage region, as is the Lavaux Panoramic Train, which takes hikers through the same region. Like us and join us at Extreme Collections for more fun and knowledge.